Call is now being recorded.
Peace and love. Welcome back to another episode of the Healers Collective. Today, I'm going to talk about the idea of growing your business like a plant. And this came to me shortly in just journaling. I think I was writing things down and I just had this moment of I was looking at my plant and I enjoyed thoroughly being a plant father and plant dad. That was the first stage of fatherhood, and it's actually kind of wild. January 1st, 2021, I bought my first plant. Her name was Amani. It was she was a palm, like a palm tree plant, like a smaller one. It was it was dope. It was simple. I enjoyed the process of like learning plants and how to take care of it and feed the soil. And then from there, every month I bought one or more plants. And then quickly we had like 20 some plants in the house. But January 1st, I bought the plant. I started to take responsibility for a life. And then I ended up meeting my now wife, and then shortly after, I end up creating a human life, and not even realizing that till this moment right now. Like, wow, yeah, that was like once I deemed myself responsible to take care of a life, the universe was like, okay, cool, you are now responsible to take care of these other lives, these human lives. So I'm grateful for that process. But what do plants need? They need water. They need to be cleaned or weeded. They need light, and they need good soil. Your business is no different. And this is for a healing business. This is for any business. It needs these four components, right? Water, cleaning, light, and good soil. I would also argue that, we as humans need the same thing, but, talking about in the business framework, water, you need to water your business, meaning you need to nourish. So water is the supplement, is the nourishment that plants thrive off of, one of them, but it's almost like the main ingredient. How can we nourish and water our business? Like what's the ingredients that our business needs? Like it's part of it is attention. Part of that is the pouring into. Some of that is investing, right? The flow of money, like it needs an inflow. So it could be an investment. It could be from sales. That's also watering your business. It's looking at it like what is it that makes your business dry up, right? And that's going to be sales. So maybe you need to create a new product that's going to bring in a stream a stream of revenue. So that's the first thing, because if you don't have a stream of revenue coming into your business will dry up and fail and die like a plant. If there's no stream of water coming into a plant, it's going to have a hard time living. It's going to shortly die. Right? Mold's going to come onto it. It's a lot of things. And if you have plants at home, the process of like when it's underwatered. There's even things to create like an automated water system where some people just kind of put a water bottle upside down in a plant, and then it kind of drinks only what it needs. And it's dope because then that's a way to automate a stream of flow, automate sales, right? So, and even like, okay, like just make sales. That sounds easy. How do you make sales? And I've been doing a lot of sales and sales training and learning from a lot of different people and understand how to bring income into your business. People spend money when the problem that they have becomes tangible, like they could feel like they need to get rid of it. Like it's not just oh yeah, I need to clean that out. Oh yeah, I need to do this. It's like, oh my gosh, okay, this place is way too cluttered. I need this place to be cleaned. And it's bigger than me, and I need somebody to come in and clean this. And then I reach in my pocket and I spend money to have somebody clean it for me. When the problem becomes almost too chaotic or too tangible or too much to handle, people will then spend money. Especially too much to handle means they just don't understand how to do it. They don't have the time to do it. They don't have the skill set. They don't have the time. Yeah, those two are the main things. Like, they don't have the skill set, the know-how, or the muscle, the strength to do it, or simply the time to do it. That's when your business is going to solve that problem of something that they don't know how to do, they don't have the time to do, or they don't have the muscle to do it. So once you understand that that's where your business can thrive, that's where your business can step in and solve problems. Once you figure out what problem or problems you're solving, which is really the pain points you're solving, then you come in and then you know you have a stream of income. Because you're going in to solve the problem, and that exchange for you solving the problem will be cash flow. And now you have water coming into your business. And now you're watering your business, watering your plant. The next one is cleaning it, weeding it out. When you are weeding, the weeds are not productive for a plant. Right? They're getting in the way, they're messing up the soil. They need to be removed. Period. When you are doing that in your business, you're looking at what are the things that are not as efficient in the business. What are the stems, the processes, the steps, the marketing, the people sometimes that are not making the business run as fluid and as efficient as it can. It's creating hiccups. It's creating confusion. What are those things? How can we remove all of those to make the business be as efficient and make growth happen smoothly and effortlessly? That is how we start to weed it out, but also cleaning, which is in the same degree. Like, okay, how can we clean up our messaging? How can we clean up our marketing? How can we clean up our delivery? How can we clean up the post service, customer service? So, right, it's like on the retention side of things, but also like, okay, you bought the product. How can I check in afterwards? Is it like you bought the product and you never hear from me again, or you bought the product and I'm checking in and saying, hey, it's been a month. How's that working out for you? Everything good? Great. I just wanted to check in. I'm not trying to sell you. Just literally wanted to make sure you feel taken care of and the product is still serving you. That is also part of cleaning, because maybe there's a part of that on the back end that feels dirty, feels just kind of off. So again, making sure that we are doing that cleaning, the due diligence to clean up, to get the weeds out in that process. Third, a plant needs sunlight. Some plants need, there's artificial lights to when you grow indoors and stuff like that. It needs light. Your business needs to be exposed. It needs light. It needs to shine. If you have a great business and you are not posting, you are not talking about it, you are not making flyers, you are not, again, exposing it to light, to the earth, to the world, it's not going to grow. Not going to grow. And yes, maybe it's maintaining from the people that it's operating from, but if you want it to grow, this is how we are growing a business, not only maintaining. I would also argue the law of entropy. If it's not building, it's breaking down. If it's not thriving, it's dying. So how can you, in how many ways, in what ways can you expose your business to more light? Continuously, right? Like, plants need light every single day. So think about the cycle, right? You have a lunar cycle, you have a solar cycle. The rhythm of the sun and the rhythm of the moon is a 28-day cycle, the sun is a 24-hour cycle. Every day, or really 12-hour, however you want to look at it, but every day the sun comes up and every day the sun sets. But every day we are exposed, we have light every single day. Unless you live in different parts of the world where the angle is not fair, and then there's months of darkness and there's months of light, etc. But for most of the earth, sun goes up, sun goes down. So every day we need to post. Every day we need to talk about our business. Every day we need to have something going out there saying like, hey, this is my business, this is what it does. Again, having that messaging very clear. Once we cleaned it up and we cleaned up the messaging, cleaned up the payout, cleared up the, hey, this is exactly who this is for and what it does and what the problem that we're going to solve for you. Taking that and posting that every single day. Now, how many times a day? It's different. That varies based off of, your algorithm, your people, what platform you're using, etc. But every single day, your business should be in the lights so people know, oh, this is what you do. Because again, think about your business growing in competition side of things. There's so many different levels of exposure and so many different levels of so many different places and things that we are exposed to, so many distractions, we go on Instagram and we can see a million things. And some things we see, we don't even see them. We just kind of keep scrolling. We're scrolling. We're in stories, we're tapping, we're skipping through. So maybe I saw that you are having an event tomorrow, but then after I saw that, I saw 59 different pieces of content within a 10-minute time frame. And then I got off, then I got back on. Then I saw within the time I saw your thing, I saw 150 other pieces of content, meaning a post, meaning a story, meaning a reel, and it's easy for all those to add up and really start to wash your exposure out. They may have forgotten about it. So the beauty is posting again, or posting again when it's a new day, posting again, because it needs more light. The more light it could pull in, the more exposure it has, the more likely people are then to show up and buy it, especially if the messaging is clear. And then there's a clear product that will then create a stream, a flow where people can then like, oh yes, this is a clear product. This is how I pay. Great, cool. I can send my money in, and then it happens. The last one, make sure the soil is good. So the foundation, the root says, what does the soil look like? Because the soil is the foundation of it, and that's becomes what the plant feeds off of. That's what it pulls its nutrients up from. That's where the roots get to sink down into. What is the foundation of your business? What is your business being built off of? Is it a purpose? Is it out of impact? Like, your foundation is, I want to impact this amount of people in this way by this time frame, or is it, I'm trying to make a lot of money? The making a lot of money may not be the best framework for how you want to build. It may not be the best foundation for what you want to grow upon. But if the foundation of your soil of your business is, I'm looking to heal the world, I'm looking to help everybody move better, I want to help everybody just every step stronger, I want to help everybody understand that each step is a rep, and every step that we take is a repetition of how we're living life. I want to help people understand that every single day we are consciously creating our reality. When we fully understand that and comprehend that, then we can start to build and grow from that. We can plant good seeds in that soil. Right? What is the soil? What is the foundation of, better question. Is the foundation of what you want to do good soil for you, for other people, for you to plant things in, for maybe even other people to plant things in? Like, how many plants can actually grow from here? Like, can we plant another product from this idea of helping humans live the life they desire and deserve? How many things can I plant in that soil? How many businesses can grow from that? So it's not just like the foundation is one product. Like, the foundation is creating an online course. Like that's not the foundation. That's the actual. That's the fruit of the plant. But the foundation of it is I want to help humans live the life they desire and deserve. Oh, okay, cool. We could do that through journaling. We could do that through a movement. We could do that through a retreat. We could do that through a book. We could do that through all these different methods of doing that. But the soil has to be good. And part of that is we did the weeding, right? If we did the weeding properly, then we got all the things out, but we got to make sure we're also feeding the soil. Like having a plant, remember having plant food to make sure the soil is fertilized or the soil is has the nutrients it needs in there. The foundation of most of your business is probably going to be your heart, probably going to be something internally that's something around passion and purpose. Making sure, and ultimately this comes down to like, are your intentions pure? Are your intentions of building this business in the right place? Because if they are, then the business will take off. Because at the end of the day, it's still going to fall back on the foundation and the intention of the business and of the growth. Or the intention of the business will dictate the growth. So all that makes sense?
Yes, it definitely does. And as you were speaking, I was thinking about like probably one more thing is like the studies they've done on like when people talk to their plants and speak to them in a positive manner, how that impacts the growth of their plants.
Yeah.
And even like when you're running a business, it's hard. I mean, sometimes it's easy when you're going through the hard times, through the struggle, to the putting the money out and not seeing the return, to start, thinking and speaking negatively about your business. So if
Yeah.
you're applying the same tactics as you would a plant and talking that growth into your plant, talking to your plants, really sitting with them and spending time with them is when they have the most growth.
Yeah. Speaking life into your plants and speaking life into your business.
Yes.
Yeah. It's funny, there's a song by Damian Marley titled Speak Life. And like as you said that, I heard the title of the song so much more powerful.
Mm-hmm.
Like speak life into what you're doing. But yes, because we can become very logistical, very just like I call it like opening blinds and closing the blinds. It's like you're every day you're doing the thing, but like all you're doing is just like you're just opening and closing doors. You're opening blinds, let light in, closing blinds, but there's no like emotion there. There's no life there. There's no passion there. So can you? And that's part of like yes, with the soil, but also that fifth piece of speaking life into your plant so it grows. Speaking having that positive affirmation, that way the business, your plant receives that, it receives that energy, your business will also receive that energy. Because if you're speaking to your plant in a negative way or not speaking to your plant, there's no life there. It becomes this desk. This desk is not going to grow. This desk was built and it's here and it's done. And if anything, it's slowly breaking down through wear and tear. But it's not evolving, it's not growing because I'm not speaking to it. So yeah. And to recap again, the now 5 pieces of treating your business on how to grow like you're treating a plant to grow. It needs water. You got to water it. You got to make sure there's a stream going in, a stream of income going into the business in exchange for solving a great product, for solving an impactful problem. You have to clean it and or weed it out. So going into your business and looking at the things that are inefficient, that are not serving the business anymore, no longer in this stage, or maybe just overall never serve the business, taking those things out and removing those out. And then cleaning it, like cleaning your plant, making sure it's polished, make sure it's nice. Like, oh, let me like dust this off. Let me, like, if you have an actual physical space, and make sure the physical space is clean. If you have a digital space, make sure the digital space is clean. Sometimes you had an old event and you have that flyer up, like you had an event that you did last month. Like, take that off your website. Like, that's people will see that like, oh, they still haven't like they haven't cleaned up. They haven't made it ready for today. It's still living in the past, or no one's been on the backside of this website. Put it in the light. Plants need light, so do our business. Our business needs to be exposed to people, to other businesses, right? Like, if nobody knows about it, if no one's seeing your business, they're not, it's not on top of mind. Like, out of sight, out of mind. And then make sure the soil is good. Make sure it's fertilized, it's good, it's nourished, it has good intentions. To the foundation of your business is based off of a positive intention that it can, anything can grow from. Like, it's just, there's life in there. And then lastly, again, speaking life into the business. Yeah. Any comments, questions on any of that? No, everybody good? Any
You know
comments or
what?
questions?
Also, something else came up for me when you said the weeding process. And for me, that's been sometimes, removing certain people, or not necessarily removing, but not discussing my business with certain people. Whether they're doing it intentionally or subconsciously, but breeding fear, breeding doubt, those type of people. So for me, that was the weeding process, is surrounding myself with people like yourself and other like-minded business owners, and maybe not discussing my business so often with my friends. Like, you guys can see the progress and you can know what I'm doing, but I'm not going to talk to you about health and tips and advice. So that
Yeah.
was part of my weeding process.
Yeah. And
I def
that's big. It definitely matters.
I definitely agree with that because I feel like a lot of people can breathe negativity onto what your goals are, and because their perception isn't as far as that. And so people can only see as far as where they are in life. And when we tell certain people who were never meant to be sitting at that table anyway about our dreams and our goals, their negative beliefs can really impact how we move forward. And yeah, that's pretty much it.
Yes.
Yeah. Everybody doesn't deserve to be a part of the process.
Hmm.
And some people, they'll actually get in the way of the process and start to slow it down and not create it to be as efficient. So yeah. Sometimes that weed could be you. Like, sometimes the business needs to be automated, or it needs to just operate without you. Like, you actually may be slowing it down. Like, I know for me and some of my ventures, like, I'm the person to start it, to create it, but I'm not the most efficient person to take it where it needs to go. And I'm like, well, let me start this up and get out the way. Like, somebody else needs to come in and actually do the next thing, because I'm gonna slow it down. I'm gonna hold it back because I'm moving only at the capacity that I have, and if I'm not developing myself in the best ways, the capacity is slower. The capacity is lower versus what the actual business can do. So it's not like getting out of the ego and just knowing like, yo, this business is gonna be bigger than me, and let me get the players, let me get the people that can play these roles and take care of the responsibilities better and more efficient than I can. So yeah, nice add in. I like that. Any question in general about question or comment in general about operating within the healing business? Or about you as a human? No, I do have another thing to share. Last night, I had a really good call with the publisher. Have this idea about this book that I'm going to write. And I sat down with a publisher, an independent publisher, and about potentially working with him to help write and produce and publish and market this book. And it was really good. The conversation was really good. I am by no means ready, which I learned last night. And in that learning, taking back and just note taking, ultimately, to sell a book, I need to have people who are ready to read. So I need to have more than followers, more than subscribers. I need to start to bring together readers. Bring together people who want to listen and hear and read my words and digest my words or my concept, my philosophy on things. And which is a different concept than, which is the deeper concept than like, yeah, let me get you to follow me. If I'm looking for followers, that could be, I don't know, I could post me naked and I'll get followers. Like I could post me like doing a certain workout and get followers. I could post me jumping over something and get followers. But like, what is it that I need to do to get people that's really going to engage and want to understand my mind? I actually want to read the words that are going to come from my mind on a piece of paper or in an email or on a whatever, or even listen to an audiobook. They want to spend time here, right? So like you guys are here, you guys are more than followers or subscribers. You guys here are here because you want to grow, you are involved, and I appreciate you. The publisher mentioned that I mentioned I have a Substack, and I said I have like 150 people on there. He was like, okay, like, and he heard 100. Well, I think I said 150. I think he just thought like, okay, cool. So you say you have 150,000 people, and I was like, at 150,000, just 150. Like, not just because you guys are each human here is valuable. To 10,000, and I was like, okay, cool. And I'm like, okay, and I'm like, all right. And he's like, yeah, you got people to sign. And then in essence, it's free. Like joining this is free. Apologies. In essence, joining this is free. Getting more subscribers, I'm not charging people to subscribe. It's like, cool. I need 10,000 people to say yes, and I want to sign up and I want to listen to this. But the best question or the best prompt is for me to have something so impactful to say that people care to listen to and will provoke emotion. I need to have something impactful to say that people care to listen to and will provoke emotion. That's bigger than doing a dance. That's bigger than like that's why some people have a whole bunch of followers and no money, because they're not provoking emotion. People take action, people reach in their pocket when they can feel something, when they're emotionally touched. So how can I say something so impactful that people really feel like, oh no, I need to like, yeah, I want to do that. Again, if the action is to press subscribe on Substack, so that way then they really want to hear what I have to say. They really care about my mind and what I have to say about the topic. That way, when a book comes out, it's like, oh, duh, I'm buying it. Like, yeah, Jordan's got a book out. I'm definitely gonna buy it. Like, let me get on the VIP list so I could really get ahead and be sure I want to buy it. Let me pre-order the book. And that creates a different framework of building an audience of listeners, and not building followers, or building an audience. And there's a difference, because it's some, like now you can have a percentage of your followers that are definitely your audience, like definitely, like solid fans, solid engagers, and not only people who like, oh yeah, this I want to be able to like see this on my feed. And there's people, for me, like there's people I follow that, like, yeah, I don't know if I actually care about anything they have to say, but I like to see what they post. Nothing, and I don't think anything's wrong with that. I think that's change. But to get into a space for you, and if you're looking to, and what I really learned was processed last night was, I need to be able to trade on currency. Like when we trade, like we exchange currency, but I need to be able to trade and exchange on currency. But in this degree, people are the currency, respectfully. The publisher thought like, okay, cool. Well, if you have 150,000 people on your Substack, like getting your emails and reading your stuff, then that's something that's good, because that way when you release a book, you're releasing it to 150,000 eyes, sets of eyes that are ready to, already used to reading your content, digesting your content, they'll probably want to buy. But if the number is 150 flat, not 150,000, it's like, okay, well, in order for us to really sell a book, to be to get to the space of being a bestseller, 150 is not enough. That currency is not strong enough to trade on to then publish a book. And especially because the numbers are like, you can have that big list, but that doesn't mean everybody on that list is converting over to buy the thing at that point in time. Because people buy not when you present your product or your offer, but people buy when their problem is bigger than they can handle, and then then they'll be ready to buy. I later wrote, to build to 100 to 10,000 or more, the message and payout solution needs to be clear and consistent. Simple would be a plus, but it needs to be clear and consistent. If it's super simple, it's like, oh, great. And I'm realizing, like, man, like I may have been unclear in this past year. I may have been definitely not as consistent, because I'm like switching, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. And there's a baseline of it. But some people, you look at their Instagram, their things, like they've been doing the same thing consistently. Now there's a level of evolution that naturally happens. But in that evolution, they're still staying consistent in what they're offering and how they're showing up. And it's clear, like the payoff is clear. These 3 questions, if you have a pen, write them down. What is, in building an audience, right? What is the payout for them? Why should they follow? What's the payout? What do they get? Why are they following and subscribing? What's the payout for them? Why are they following and subscribing? The last one, probably the most important one, how are you making their experience of life better? How are you making their experience of life better? So what's the payout? Whatever it is you're doing, what's the payout for them? Why are they following and subscribing? Like, what is that payout, right? So like, can I get the payout without following and subscribing? Because some pages you can. Some pages you could go and you can always reference and go to the page, see the person, you can buy the product, you do the thing. I don't follow water companies, but I buy the water from them. Like I don't follow any water, right? I don't follow them. I buy it. I may not follow any restaurant that I go to on anything, but I still go to the restaurant, I still eat. So the payout is I need water. Cool. But why are they following and subscribing? What benefit are they gaining from that more than the payout? Then how are you making their experience of life better? These three questions will really get you to the point where you start to answer them and understand. It's like, okay, cool. The product now the business is doing well because what's the payout for them? And they could see that whether they follow or not. It's like, oh yeah, I'm in pain. I want to get out of pain. I want to move better. I want to run faster. I want to jump higher. That's the payout. Cool. Why are they following and subscribing? Maybe there's just always updates on how people can run faster. Maybe there's always updates on different ways to alleviate pain or really get heal pain, really just get out of pain and understand a better way of living where you can live pain free, not just put a Band-Aid over it. And how are you making their experience of life better? If they're not in pain, that's it. People want to feel good and move well. Is all this doing what it needs to, is it landing where it needs to land? Thank you, Jazz.
Yeah, it definitely makes sense. And I think it's important to, when I go to your page, for example, I know what I'm looking for, what I'm getting out of it, why I follow you, what the benefits are. And that you're not just a page that I just want to reference to all the time. I always know that there's probably something there that I can learn from, or that can inspire me or influence me in some way. And so I think it's important to think of that way too, right? When we're building our pages and our audience as well. So it definitely makes sense what you're saying.
Good, thank you. And thank you for that reflection back, because I question my page. I haven't posted it in a while because my mind is in the exchange, I'm like, man, I don't want to exhale unless it's deep and full. I've been inhaling a lot, and really, and that I need to hold on to this breath. Maybe just this lesson in this moment. Okay, you've been inhaling. When are you gonna? And you've been holding this breath. When are you going to exhale and put out this information that you've been learning? What you've been taking in? Again, it's not yours. The air is not mine. Money is not mine. As it comes in, it needs. I could hold it for as long as I can, but eventually it needs to go out. So I want to make sure that as I'm posting, it is clear and consistent with my goal. It is making your experience of life better. It is creating a payout. It is very impactful, right? Or just the I, impact and income. How can I make sure what I'm posting is deep and full and impactful? So thank you for letting me know that what I have already been posting is hitting there, but I feel like I need to get to the point where every post is doing it. When I look at my life and my trends of following, there was a space in time when oh yeah, this makes sense why people are following, because I am educating. I am doing something that is creating an impact in people's lives. And yeah, I'm getting back there intentionally. Yeah. I hope that served you guys well. I always wanted to add more value, right? This, and I enjoy this space because this is actually where I get to exhale very deep and full. And Instagram feels like this, almost like a very short space, and I don't get to. It almost feels like and you have to be very crafty to on there, because you can just scrolling, and every scroll is a little sip of air, so you can kind of and fill up. But it's like, are you putting out something that's very, or is it just, is it that exchange? Apologies.
It's funny that you said that about Instagram, because you remember even when you started coaching me to post more on Instagram, you're like 90 seconds is all you need. And I'm like, but no, like sometimes that didn't feel like I was able to make my point naturally in that time frame. So then
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to like quickly say it, or then it feels forced, or like that's when I felt like the acting came in, because now I'm in my head trying to figure out like what can I say quickly versus how can I say it naturally.
Yeah.
So that's how Instagram feels for me sometimes. Like it's not a complete thought, it's not a complete sentence, or as you reference here, it's not a complete breath, because you are limited by the time constraints of what you can post to Instagram as well.
Yeah. Oh, MacBook has died. Sorry, apologies. I ordered some food and it's here, and I don't know if I can get it. Get the order. Somebody got the order for me. Thank God for people. But yes, it is. It does feel short, and I'm grateful for other spaces. I'm grateful to be able to remove things off the platform and be here and be able to like have this beautiful exchange in a communal way, with people, with like not just an account, not just you're scrolling and you see what they posted, you see if they perfectly curated, but like a real time exchange. That's why Clubhouse was so rich at the time, because it was a real life exchange, and I think it's still rich. I think I've downloaded to try to like tap back in, but I felt, I don't know, like kind of lost. I'm like, oh, okay, this is kind of new. It's the same framework, but is it still happening the way it needs to happen? I don't know. I just kind of backed out of it. But can we get back to beautiful exchanges in whatever platform it is? Like, how can we breathe differently on these apps and let them do what it needs to do? Or can we just like save our posts until they are actually fully impactful and like a deep and full breath? And those not stories, they're carousel posts. Those are going to be where you have time to tell a story. You could tell a story in a reel. It may just take a lot more time to edit. But if you look at, and I think even changing your mind frame, like, man, it takes forever to edit. It's like, yes, but how could you be more impactful? That way, you know, when you spent 30 minutes putting this video together, that it's going to hit possibly 30 million people versus just uploading really quick to say you uploaded. And mind my mind and just where I go and the sexual innuendo, but like, are you just getting a nut off, like literally, or are you making love? Are you creating life? Are you creating a baby to be something impactful? Like, there's a difference in that exchange where one is like, well, let me just get this off. Let me just post this real quick. Versus, okay, how do I want people to feel when they receive that, when this hits their phone? How do I want them to feel? What emotion do I want to provoke here? Versus like, oh, like, this is cute, let me post that. Or, oh, this is like, I just think this is dope, let me post it. But it's like, I need people to feel something versus, oh yeah, I want to hear it, so let me just post it because I'm supposed to be posting 9 times a day, 3 times a day, whatever. And I've prescribed people to tell them post 3 times a day, and I'm grateful for my evolution to know, like, oh man, like I have been not fully leading people the right way. But also the algorithm worked at the time with that. But now I'm like, ooh, the people who are having more engagement, they're having posts that are impactful. They are a deep and full exchange. As they exhaled, the inhale comes right back in because there's probably some income coming in. There's somebody like, oh yes, let me subscribe, let me do this, let me figure out how I can get onto your retreat, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But yeah, in the the notice of retreat, and make sure I put some light on my business. I do have a retreat. It's called the Evolved Human Retreat coming up in October 9th through the 14th. Is going to be in Puerto Vallarta, Mexico. It's going to be 5 days, and we are going to dive into how you can evolve as a human, tapping into the 4 elements, tapping into how to move better, think better, breathe better, overall be better, evolve yourself. And still going through a lot of my frameworks in my evolved human framework, and getting from building out a solid root system so you can enjoy your fruit system. So yeah, that you can apply. Like the link can be below for YouTube. And I will, you can apply for the retreat. We're gonna have probably like between 5 to 10 spots, somewhere around there. Not looking to like have a super big space. I want to have a really beautiful exchange. So, but yeah, thank you guys for being here. Thank you guys for showing up. Thank you for contributing. Thank you for the exchange. I love you all. I appreciate you. Anybody else that wants to say anything last minute, feel free.
Thank you again. This is always a great start to the day.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I'm grateful. Peace and love. And as always, make every single day remarkable. Every step is a rep. Remember that.
Thank you.